attention comes in understanding that TikTok's about to blow. But it also comes in knowing that Gunna sat here when he had 400 followers on Instagram. Or that my company, VaynerMedia, did a campaign called Finding the Next Vine Star, and the winner that we chose for that campaign was Logan Paul.
No
Or that
way.
Charlie D'Amelio was in that office moments before she went crazy. Like, I pay attention to people. I pay attention to platforms. I pay attention to why corduroy hats are hot. Weren't 2 years ago. So that's fashion and music and people. Attention is the number one asset. Twitch, thank you for joining and being patient. I know you've been waiting for the last 50 minutes. This is Podcast with Friends. Chase just walked in. Had a few minutes late there, a few minutes late.
Oh, man. Yeah, New York, man. Yeah, it's tough. You know, I'm not used to this no more.
Yeah,
I moved out a couple years ago.
New York City's different.
Wild. Yeah.
Episode 3 of Podcast with Friends. I'm really excited about this. 3 young men, even though we were joking beforehand, joining me. I think I made a little bit of a mistake for episode 2. Big shout out to Ash and the rest of the crew that was with me. I'm going to give these 3 gentlemen, I actually learned from that. So what I'm going to start this episode with is go around the horn and let everybody have 2-3 minutes to really let the audience know who they are, what they do, what they're about. And then we'll just chop it up like friends and we'll get out of here. But huge shout out to everybody on Twitch. Thank you for tuning in. That's the other enjoyable part of this. 1, I was missing people and wanted to make fresh content, so this is the format. And 2, I've been wanting to really stream. I've got an extra thing coming soon for everybody on Twitch, but if you're listening on the podcast, go to GaryVee.com/Twitch and make sure you follow the channel. I'm enjoying everyone in here. So anyway, let's do this.
Yes.
My man, why don't you tell everybody in the audience who's watching live and listening to the podcast the day we launch it and for the next 5 years, who you are, what you do. Give us 3 minutes.
Okay,
3
cool.
minutes on you.
Okay, my name is Franklin, aka the King of Trainers. I am the UK and Europe's one of the UK biggest sneaker bloggers. I've probably done more sneaker content than anyone in the world, if I'm honest. It's just that it's not on YouTube. It's mainly on Instagram. I'm the person that JD Sports tried to take to court over the King of Trainers name, and they had to back down. I now currently help a lot of social media people, and I consult for Averex as well, Averex jackets. I helped open the first standalone Averex shop in London, and I just different businesses here and there, ups and downs.
Entrepreneur.
Ups and downs.
When people say, you say you're an entrepreneur?
Yeah.
Is that what you say?
Well, to be fair,
please.
I do say it, but I would say I'm a business person because, entrepreneur, sometimes I think everyone says
fake.
it. Yeah, everyone says it.
I'm 48. I just turned 48. When I came up the game, I was like, I'm a businessman. The word didn't even exist. Because ironically, back in the day, everybody who said entrepreneur was on some not really doing shit. Then when I came up my era, the thing that kind of like, I had good timing where it got cool again, it was entrepreneur. And it's funny to hear you say that, like I'm a businessman, because I'm like, I understand where you're going with that, because a lot of people are playing the part on the gram.
That's it. That brings me to why I was going to get everyone to guess my age on live.
Everybody take a look at this man's face real quick. Guess his age, Twitch.
I feel like anyone that says that is old. So.
He knows he looks good.
I'm taking
nobody young says that.
Of course not.
Oh, well. Okay.
Someone said 50.
So 50. No, that's a bit.
Because they know that he wouldn't say it. Notice how I don't say guess how old I am. He's got that black don't crack shit going too. That's always winning. That's always winning.
Cool. Wow. Okay.
All right. How old are you?
I'm 44.
Yeah.
Wow.
Amazing. Look amazing, brother.
You look good, man. Can we all chat? Chat. Come on, chat. Give it to him. Skincare.
I'm about to say, share your regimen, man. What's going on?
Just happiness.
You grew up. I love that. That is the fucking regimen. It's good.
Yeah.
You find yourself positive?
Yeah, as much as I can be.
Yeah.
As much as I can be. Even though sometimes
you had a positive parent?
Yeah, both my parents. Yeah, my father passed away 2 years ago.
I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
You grew up where? In
London, Tottenham.
Oh.
So when you hear of riots, it's either Brixton or Tottenham.
Yeah.
and that's where I grew up.
Spurs life.
Spurs for sure.
Yeah.
Right?
All right, my man. Tell everybody who you are.
What's up, y'all? I'm Chase B, DJ, producer, all around. I always call it like an enthusiast of the culture because it just comes with a lot. Sneakers are obviously a big thing in my world. Clothes, just the whole realm of everything.
Pop culture, which is obviously in today's world, black urban culture.
Right.
But I think I will use culture when I'm talking about what you're talking about. I'll use pop culture when I take on everything. What do 14-year-old white girls like about coffee? What's going on with
exactly
yeah. Pop culture and/or culture. Keep going.
All right. Well, so with that, a lot of people know me for obviously my involvement with like Cactus Jack and everything, touring with Trav for like the last 12 years or so.
Yeah, of course.
And then just other things on top of that, like like how we were talking about businessmen earlier, really just like legitimizing and actually owning things. As me and you talked about, Gary, we just started the show Aux Money, the podcast, kind of just overall just cultural, musical, athletic like binding, if you will, of the sorts and all of that. So Aux Money, the show we just started, we actually launched the first episode about a week and a half ago with
Boardroom,
CJ,
right?
with Boardroom.
I was with Rich Kleiman last night. Big shout
so
out
me and
to
my
them.
friend Kim actually created the whole entire show, and we sat down with Rich and with Katie, and they just loved the idea, so we partnered with them to just deliver it in the best way possible.
Yeah, I wanted to use the platform to get as much exposure as possible.
Exactly. Yeah,
1 + 1 = 11.
Yeah, and they just exactly, and they just helped us button up a lot of things that that we had
Yeah, that
going
you
on
would
for us.
have had to learn over 2 or 3 years. They sped up the process.
Exactly, yeah. So shout out to them for
Yeah, of
sure.
course.
And we launched the first episode with CJ Stroud about a week and a half ago. It's doing
He's been
amazing.
balling.
Man, he's crazy, bro. I'm so happy for him, for real.
I met him.
You know how those rookie seasons could go, man. He's having like
I
the best
met
one of
him.
all time.
He's killing it.
Ironically, the Jets played the Falcons this weekend, and we rep Des Ridder, the Falcons quarterback. So this is the first time since I've owned Vayner Sports where my beloved Jets have to play a team that has a quarterback that I rep, that we rep, that AJ reps, that Brian actually reps. He's his agent, but Vayner Sports. Good news, Des. Big shout out. I love you, but like good news. I feel nothing. I want the Jets to destroy Des.
I was gonna ask.
Yeah, I'm Jets over everything. I'm Jets over everything. Everything.
Wow.
But Stroud's been balling. I met him when Des was working out with Jordan Palmer out on the West Coast. He was still in college, and I kind of walked away saying like that kid's got it. Like
Good
that.
head on his shoulders, man.
Great
Super,
kid. Great kid. So grew up in Houston.
I grew up in Houston. Yeah, I lived here. Actually, I lived across the street for about 6 years. Literally across the street. I watched this whole area get built. It was loud as hell every
Hudson
morning.
Yards. Yep.
Yeah. So, I lived in the building called the Ohm. It's like right across the street.
Yeah, I know. And
So I lived there. But I'm
live where
I'm
now?
definitely from Houston. I'm back in Houston now.
Yeah.
I'm just like kind of back and forth. I'm
And
here
you're
like
moving.
every other week.
All right.
Where do you really even live anymore?
Yeah,
To be
that's
honest.
If you're making things happen, you're right.
Right.
What's up, everybody? I'm Christian Crosby. I'd say my claim to fame is definitely working in the NBA as an in-arena host for the Philadelphia 76ers, which is home base, but I also do all the NBA stuff. So like NBA Draft, NBA All-Star Weekend. Actually, there was a NBA All-Star. It was during a slam dunk contest, right? I was killing it. I was doing a great job. And you were sitting you were like, I think first row, and you were vibing. We made eye contact a couple times, and you were just like, You're doing a fucking good job.
I remember it vividly.
I don't know if you remember that or not. But I was like,
I think it was.
I'll take that, man.
I was like, thanks, Gary.
I think it was Chicago.
Okay,
I remember it very well.
Facts. That's
Wow.
crazy. So yeah.
Honestly, by the way, real quick for the podcast and everybody on Twitch and for all of us, can we start making giving flowers while people are alive a bigger thing?
100%.
That's
That's what that was. Like, look,
Yeah.
here they come, the goosebumps. I know when I'm saying something like we don't do it enough. We're quick to tell people what they suck at.
Seriously.
We're quick to tear people down.
Oh, for
We're
sure.
quick to be envious of people moving and can't wait for them to fuck up.
Right.
Yeah.
But why not give love?
I agree.
I agree. That's it.
In little ways like that. Like, I remember that vividly. That's why.
Gary, do you really remember that?
I really remember that.
Because I will never forget it. And like, it's crazy. Like, that's just a random moment.
I really remember it.
Yeah, that's dope.
And by the way, the coolest part is, and I wouldn't say it, the other thing I've held myself accountable to, because I so want to give people flowers, is, well, if I give people flowers when I don't mean it, then it doesn't mean
It does not.
anything.
Ingenuine.
So the reason I
and-
remember it is because I remember it.
Right.
True.
Because
That's
what I
fair.
do for a living is my next book, Day Trading Attention, comes out next year. Attention comes in understanding that TikTok's about to blow, but it also comes in knowing that Gunna sat here when he had 400 followers on Instagram, or that my company VaynerMedia did a campaign called Finding the Next Vine Star, and the winner that we chose for that campaign was Logan Paul.
No
or that
way.
Charlie
That's
D'Amelio's,
crazy. That's
or
crazy.
Charlie
I didn't know
D'Amelio was in that office moments before she went crazy. Like, I pay attention to people, I pay attention to platforms, I pay attention to why corduroy hats are hot and weren't 2 years ago. So that's fashion and music and people, and so the reason I remember it was because I meant it.
Right.
Because I think you really were doing a great job. And it's hard.
Thank you.
What you
I
do.
appreciate that.
That's not that easy. And to even get to be able to do it is already real talent, but you were doing it on a big stage with a lot of chaos. I remember it very well.
Yo, Gary's over here trying to make me cry. And I don't appreciate it.
Podcast with friends, man. That's what it's about. Word.
That's what's up.
Let's go backwards. Let's go even a step deeper and then we'll get into some other shit.
Sure.
Okay.
How did you give me the real origin story? I'm going to go into how did you get there. So we got a sense of what you do.
Yeah. So
You grew up where?
So I grew up in South Jersey, but most of my life has been
Cherry Hill, Camden,
Cherry
Morristown.
Hill. Like I was born in Voorhees, so if you're familiar with the area, so
I know every zip code in New Jersey because when I was building my dad's liquor store back in the 90s, I went crazy on direct mail, sending coupons, and I was one of the first people to have a website. So I was like, wait, I can send coupons close to my dad's store,
Right.
but I can send fucking mail to Cherry Hill, 2 hours, an hour and a half away, 2 hours from Springfield. But I could say go to winelibrary.com. And so I literally analyzed every zip code, Bell Mead, Colts Neck, like
only GaryVee would know.
That's a fun ass fact. Yo. That's a very fun fact.
All of
God
them.
damn.
All
That's
of them, bro.
amazing.
Okay, so Cherry Hills. So like the Total Wine in Cherry Hills, that big liquor
Yeah,
store, like
yeah.
I like knew the day it came out in 1992 and analyzed
Gary?
how they did. You have to understand. Now all of you kind of know me a little bit. Imagine 14 to 34.
Yeah.
And really 13
crazy.
to 14 to 34, but 14 to 30. Imagine 14 to 30-year-old me having 100% of my attention to the liquor store New Jersey business and wine. That's all I care about.
Right.
That's why I got all those bag grades up there in my report card.
yeah.
It's why I don't have any story of fun in my 20s. I was religious of building the biggest liquor store in New Jersey for my dad.
Okay, but like, where
Go
did
ahead.
that come from? Because like, even
that
let's
age.
say your dad wanted you to be
I'm glad,
that way,
I'm glad you're here. You know where it came from? Gratitude.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was so grateful. I understood somewhere around 12, 13, 15, 17, somewhere in that, junior high, middle school, high school, pre-college, somewhere along the way I realized, damn, my parents are better. Yeah. It was deep, long before we talked about feelings.
Yeah.
I was just like, my mom is the best.
Right.
Yeah.
My dad worked, I don't really even know my dad. Like when I realized it, I was starting to work with him, but like my dad worked every minute I was born in the Soviet Union. We came to this country, lived in Queens in a studio the size of this room with 8 family members. I'm talking really actually, like people on the floor, like the shit that people say on come up stories, I lived it. And we didn't speak English. And shit was hard. And it was like really a tough time in America, late 70s, we were all fucked up with the economy. And so this might resonate for a lot of people who are watching or in this podcast or definitely listening. I believe the person that is most unstoppable in life is the person that is lucky enough to be born into a family that doesn't have that much financially in the first 10 years of their life, but they're happy as fuck.
Right.
Because they're shown that happiness has nothing to do with finance.
Right.
That's facts.
If you're unhappy in a home that doesn't have a lot, you believe, because the world tells you, money will get you happy.
Right.
If you're in a house that is very wealthy and everyone's happy, you think it's because the money.
Interesting.
But if you're in a house that doesn't have much, that is happy, as you grow, you just know. And of course, these are generalizations. When you said interest, of course, do I believe there are people? I mean, I have wealthy kids. Like, do I think there are people? But you know what the problem is? You can't fake environment.
No. No.
You can't, like the way all of us came up and everyone you can't fake it.
No.
Right.
Meaning, like, it is what it is. Like, none of us can feel the alternative. I can be empathetic and understand, but I don't know what it's like to grow up where you can sit courtside at a game. I was just trying
Not at all,
one day when I'm older, I can buy a ticket to a basketball game.
Right.
Courtside?
That's crazy.
That didn't even run through my fucking mind.
Unfathomable shit for real.
really?
Yeah,
You know what I
that's
mean?
crazy.
Seriously.
And but other kids like especially in the circles I run in now, they think they should be friends with CJ Stroud. They just think that shit's normal.
Right.
That's facts.
And then everybody in between those two extremes, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, how'd you come up?
So I do come from a household, maybe some struggle, but middle class, a little below middle class.
Yeah.
It was an up and down journey. There were times we
sometimes
had
upper
good
middle,
Christmases where I was lit,
yeah.
and then it was like, y'all
Not as
ain't getting
good.
anything
Yeah.
this year type Christmases.
Yep.
So I just fell in love with the arts. My dad gave me a camera when I was younger. I was just into visual and acting and dancing. I'll fast forward to I got my first commercial with Target.
Yeah.
got a $5,000 check, and I was a kid. So
How
I was
old?
like, oh my God.
How old?
I think I was like 16, 17. I was like, oh my God.
Because he's got a good face. You
I
see?
learned.
He's fucking handsome.
Thank you, Gary. I was like, yo, I can make money doing stuff like this. So then I did another low budget Philly tourism commercial, but there were 2 Sixers dancers in the commercial. At the time I did martial arts, so I did like flips and tricks, and I was doing these flips and tricks in the commercial. And the dancers came up to me and was like, yo, you'd be perfect for the slam dunk team for the Philadelphia 76ers. I just wanted their number. I connected with them, followed up, showed up to the audition. I wasn't even that good, but they liked the karate that I did.
Yeah.
So
and your charisma.
I wasn't even into sports. It's funny. I just thought it was a coach and a team. I didn't realize there was community relations, marketing, PR. I didn't know any of that. So
of course you were a kid.
I ended up getting a job. My first game, I'll never forget it. I walked in and I just looked around and saw all the people
energy.
working. I was just like, I want to be here. So
Good for
from that
you.
day forward, I became the super intern kid. Made every mistake, but never made it twice. Knew everybody's name. Came early, left late. That whole story, right?
By the way, talk about a lost art.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, I'm going to rewind it and have him repeat it. The amount of kids, this is why I fuck with the guys and gals that come to my team. We're very selective, but it's getting harder. 10 years ago, I could find 1,000 super interns.
Right.
There was unlimited kids who were like, yo, I'm hungry. This guy's got a platform that I can get put on, and I'm coming.
Right.
Real, and not that I think Gen Z is lazy and this and that. It just, shit got different.
Yeah, I think they just
Remote.
want to skip a lot of steps. Really.
Yeah, yeah.
I just-
And honestly, I don't
It's
judge
not
them.
glorified
I'm going to
to
say
be-
this real
Yeah,
careful. I'm not judging the kids right now. Shit's just different.
Right.
Zoom. Do I have to? The government gave everybody
Everything's
money.
faster, to be honest,
They think
yeah.
they can do it faster,
Right.
which I respect. The fuck you gonna
Yeah.
go eat shit for
Right.
5 years to get on if you think you can go get on right now.
Right.
But like the whole vibe, like super intern doesn't exist like it used to.
doesn't exist anymore. I think they're just smarter than us, and there's more options to get things
Yeah.
faster.
Yeah.
now.
Exactly. Yeah. Everything's
And they
about
see
this-
it.
the quickness.
Right.
Right.
Like, when
And
you see
Ginger
it.
Beloved said Christian is cute and charismatic.
Hey, Ginger Beloved, let's go.
shots getting shot, man.
How'd your world go? What kind of kid were you in Houston?
Man, in Houston, it was all about sports where I was at.
Okay.
Everything was about my high school was, if you weren't getting a scholarship, like you just weren't as good as everybody else. So it was
Yeah, the athletes were here. Everybody else was second
it was like,
class.
everything was very competitive. So I ran
Yeah,
track.
that's that Texas shit.
It-
It's that Friday Night
where
Lights,
where
basketball.
I went to high school was the epitome of Friday Night Lights. The whole
And the
We went
basketball?
to state twice. Everything was
Football?
like, football,
What about-
basketball, track. We all went to state while I was in
Everybody
high school.
killed in all those.
Everybody was just amazing. So
How was your baseball team?
It was all right. It wasn't. But the high school
did
down
that
the
for
street from us, the high school down the street from us had like an amazing baseball
Okay.
team. So everything was just very competitive. Even our practices were like full speed. Everything.
And you
was,
played sports.
And I was sports was all high school. So I actually ended up going to Howard to run track in DC. And when I got there, I was like, I'm not going to the Olympics. Like, what am I even doing here? So, and like you kind of said before about like how things were just like unfathomable. I had no knowledge of like the music industry like that. Like none of my parents are involved in that. None of my family at all is really involved in the music industry. So when I got to Howard, I actually was on a college radio station, and it just taught me so much about just like that industry of
I see.
media. And
Why'd you do the radio? You were intrigued
I was just
by
in the
music?
school of communications for something totally different.
Got it.
And but they offered that as like you know,
you're
it's
like,
kind
fuck
of yeah. And I would just let me try this out. So from then I ended
Did
up.
you always want to go to Howard?
Probably when I was like a sophomore in high school.
You were like, that's the target.
Yes.
How did that day feel when you got it?
Yeah, so when I went to DC to visit, I had an uncle that actually lived in DC. It was my first time even going, and I got there and I was just like, something is like really special and like different
such a
about
special
this. Even the way they dress and everything, I was like, yo, DC is just like its own world.
Yeah.
It's the nation's capital. Just driving by the White House every day was just like some,
Yeah,
just
just
cool shit
different.
to see.
Yeah,
It's just
DC's
different.
different.
And you really don't appreciate it until you like go there and leave and come back. It's like, yo, I really did this like every single day. So DC just taught me a lot about just finding yourself within like.
Yeah, and you were also not great. I mean, 18 to 22.
Yeah, you know, you got to pick a major
you
when
learn
you're
about
like
yourself
16.
every hour.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know,
So,
and it's a special time.
Yeah, so with the radio station, I started DJing in clubs and shit when I was probably like 19 years old. And a whole bunch of financial shit happened. I had to drop out. And I actually kind of just ran away and moved to, my grandmother had just passed away. This is probably like 2011 or something like that. So I moved to East Orange, New Jersey. And I would just get gigs out here in the city for like maybe $50 to $100. A lot of times it was free, just like for the look or whatever. Of
course.
I was sleeping in Penn Station at a point just to like,
You
know.
were super interning.
Super interning.
You know, some
yeah.
people super intern for a company.
Exactly.
Other people super intern for the market.
Right.
Like I super interned for the market.
Right.
I sold shit my whole life.
Right.
Lemonade, baseball cards, flea markets, my dad's liquor store. Like the market was my boss.
Right.
I didn't have a boss ever. The world was
The
my
world,
boss.
exactly. Yeah.
like
super
that.
interning for the
Super
world.
int-
For
we gotta
the
bring
world,
that back,
literally.
y'all.
Yeah.
We got to bring back the super
That's what you were doing. You were grinding.
Y'all just grinding, you know.
Yep.
I feel like, you know, and I had no doubt at any point when I was even asleep on the floor, just like, yo,
In
something's
East
gonna
Orange,
work.
your grandma lived there?
Exactly.
So
I
she
would do
passed and
gigs.
you went into the house?
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
So I would do gigs in the city, but
I
the
know-
PATH train or the
Yeah.
New Jersey Transit wouldn't start again until like 4 or 5 in the
Yeah.
morning. So I would just have to just figure it out. I'll just walk around Times Square, like shit like that.
On some that shit.
On some, yeah, until I could get back. I would just hop trains and like do whatever. And from there, this is when the Derby was like really like the Derby on 14th. And I got like an opportunity to DJ there one night, and it turned from 1 night to 2 nights to 3 nights a week. And then when it became Up and Down, I was like my whole shit. I was there like,
You were that guy.
yeah, I was there Up and Down on 1 I really miss those clubs, man, for real.
Yeah, they were
Those
iconic clubs.
Exactly, yeah. So that was like my whole.
And that's when you were making your.
That's when I like
relations.
found my own as far as like being a DJ and turned it to Vegas and like whatever you have now. And then
Who were let's back to Flowers. Who
Yeah.
were some of the homies that saw you?
man, DJ Clark Kent, bro.
There you go.
DJ Clark Kent.
Back to Flowers. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, Clark Kent. I'll probably say him like every interview I'll ever do, just
As you
because.
should.
Wow.
Obviously, I just looked up to him so much in
course,
this
he was
space,
DJ
the DJing, and yeah, you know, and just
he was
just
a
the beats he
legend.
was making.
He was a legend already when you met him.
And he was cool, and he wasn't like an old guy that tried to be young. Like he was like, oh, he stands on being like, yo, I'm old, bro, but I'm like the tightest old nigga. Yeah, like he's gonna be like, bro, I'm the dopest old nigga you're ever gonna be in your life. You know,
Yeah.
he never like tried to like.
Yeah, youth down.
You know, to
Which
use
is-
down.
Yeah, listen.
So, and he just kind of told me he really broke down the game of how you can
Do it.
make money, like even aside from clubs and like gigs or whatever, to like really enterprise yourself as a DJ
Brand
and
deals
musician.
this. Meet these kind of people.
Exactly. So
Shake everyone's hand. Hello
Right.
to everyone. I saw some people in the comments on Twitch say memorizing everyone's name is real, which is super hard
It's
for me.
a-
I'll tell you.
And saving
I'll
people's
remember
numbers is real,
moments.
too.
Bro, names is real hard for me, but moments, as you saw with Christian, like
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you shit that happened. Like that is my superpower.
Yeah.
I'll bring up crazy shit, especially if I see someone that I know. I'll like immediately be like, yo, saw you in Boston 13 years ago when you
Yeah.
sneezed, right? Oh, GaryVee. I'm like, but what's his name?
That's
it's a real gift though. It's a real gift.
Because audio and visual, I got it.
That's dope.
Audio and visual, I got it.
yeah.
But it's why I don't have reading comprehension. Something with names just doesn't. Anyway,
Yeah.
nonetheless.
yeah. So no, definitely credit to DJ Clark Kent for you know, he's my
And so,
mentor
what was
at the point.
if I said to you, like, what was the moment where you knew you crossed over from like the come up to that next stage? Which one pops in mind?
Man, I just really
Because I know it's millions pebbles to get to a boulder.
Yeah.
People ask me all the time, like 87 different things I can tell you, but like, what's one that you think was a moment?
I feel like so I signed a record deal in 2018 to Columbia, and just even at that point, I never really thought of myself as like putting my own records out and putting music out or whatever. But even to just when I was on that radar of like, yo, you're much bigger than like what you think you are right now, and I basically had every single label I call and just like, yo, you should put an album out, yeah. So at that point, I was like, oh, this is bigger than me just being present at like at a Trav show or in a club. It was like,
You were
this is
feeling
gonna turn into
the market was
something
talking
much
to you.
bigger. Yeah.
Good for
So
you.
at that point, I was like, all right, how do I shift this into like something much more than what I'm doing right now?
For you.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
My man.
Cool. Yeah, growing up in London, Tottenham. I grew up, when Tottenham was
Different.
A little different. Yeah.
very different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it got a little gentrified.
Yeah, very different.
We know what you're saying.
Indeed. So, yeah, man. I mean, I grew up at a time. Unfortunately, it was quite violent. I lost a few friends. So even like in the early '90s, I would be in New York a lot. Yeah, so I'll be staying in Brooklyn, Flatbush with my auntie, just to kind of get out of trouble from in London. You know,
Just
and,
to let it calm down.
yeah, it was crazy.
So it was like that.
It was really bad.
Like
It
you
was
had to
really
go
bad.
to America to hide.
Yeah, but
damn.
for me, it was just
Yeah, it
it
was
was the fact that I just had a lot of friends, and my best friend got murdered, and it just kind of
Yeah, that's an
yeah,
experience that
Let's get
you
out of
have.
here.
so,
Let's get out of here,
Yeah,
for sure.
so I was like,
That's tough.
Yeah. So from then, I mean, and for me, in terms of like business, I knew from 15 I wanted to work for myself, but I had to do the university route for my parents.
Yeah, and for all the kids that are listening and watching on Twitch, and even for you youngsters, like, again, when we were coming, I just turned 48, 47.
Yeah.
You know, like, it wasn't like that.
Yeah,
Like
it
at 15, when we both felt it, it wasn't as obvious it is for everybody right now.
Exactly.
I see.
There was
Exactly.
for you, there might have been internet. Internet was popping?
No.
Like the internet changed everything. Like
Yes.
you couldn't do
Mid-
anything.
Yeah.
There was not a single, every single influencer that you know that's under 20
Right.
making money, there was not one of those that existed when I was 16.
Zero,
Not
yeah.
one.
That's it.
The most famous business person for us coming up was Bill Gates, and he was the nerdiest looking dude on earth. And it was like, I don't want to be that. Like if money comes with that.
And you kind of thought you had to be like this genius to even
Yeah, it was like
be that.
so dorky.
Yeah, right.
Indeed.
It was like dorks.
Yeah.
And it was like, and not that like Bill Gates is a dork, but that was like the image. That's what we grew up
Exactly,
with.
yeah.
Plus, in cool culture,
It was street guys.
It was.
for me.
It's not what hip hop is now, where it's fashion. It was. If you were not hard, you weren't in.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it.
Back to even like where people grew up. Do you know that people that came up hip hop in the 80s and 90s, if they had an auntie in the hood, but they grew up in middle class, they would tell people they were from the hood. They would be like, yo, I'm
from such and such.
Yeah, because you're just like, you couldn't say you were from, like, it was that much the currency. Hard and rough, nothing else. Not creative, not nice, nothing. Just hood.
Yeah.
That's how London. That's definitely how London was. Yeah, that's how London
I know.
was. And then so
It's crazy.
From school, had to do university. Done a university, and then straight from university, I graduated to like 2000 and 2003. I worked in my own businesses. I had an installation company, property investment company. Done well in property, quote unquote. I made the million in property. That was my dream to just make $1 million, right?
Yeah,
made it by
course.
about 26,
By the way,
27.
let me say back to kids that are like 44 and up. $1 million was like, and now
that was
kids
like $1 billion.
Oh, million is like
That was like $1 billion.
that was literally the next sentence out of my mouth.
yeah.
Just so everybody knows, 20 years ago, making $1 million is the way people talk about making $1 billion.
Yes.
It was that not achievable for almost everyone.
Yeah.
And now we all walk around and these kids are confused. So America, very rich country, one of the richest in the world, if not the richest. I don't know where it sits with China these days. The top 1% of earners in America, the last person in the top 1%, the top 1% is $440,000 a year.
That's wild.
That's crazy.
That's wild.
Let me say it real slow.
Yeah.
If you make more than $440,000 a year,
1%.
you're in the top 1% of people in America.
Nah.
That's
Yeah,
wild.
my man.
That is crazy.
And this is why these conversations matter. Some kid's listening right now who thinks if he doesn't make 100 million, he's a loser.
Right.
Yeah.
$1 million?
I'm not signing this deal for less than $1 million. I'm not signing this.
And
for,
not to cut into your story,
No,
but you're
please,
seeing
we're
a lot
chopping,
of
we're
that
chopping.
content nowadays where it's
Constantly.
like,
If you don't
if you don't have,
yeah.
then you're this type content.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm seeing so much
But
more
let
of
me
that
let me
now.
tell you to it straight. It's not like we didn't have that. Everyone's like, oh, we have it so tough right now. Everyone's saying this. Well, we had less content. There was no GaryVee talking real shit. And what we had was MTV Cribs. And guess what? They were
Half of
saying
that
this-
shit was
as if all of a sudden the world is pushing like stuff. It's been pushing stuff.
Always.
All right.
Like,
that's
and we had no other things to find. They've been telling Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous was a smash hit in the 80s. Robin Leach, with British voice telling me as an American 7-year-old boy, like, if I don't have a yacht, I'm a dick. You know, like, so it's been there. The difference is I see it flip. Everyone's like, oh, social media did it. I'm like, I see the flip. At least we now have people saying other shit.
Facts.
Because chains and bottles and models and private, they've been pushing that.
Indeed.
Facts.
Indeed.
Facts.
Yeah. So made quote unquote $1 million, but in property by 26, 27. They lost it by 28. Credit crunch happened. I lost my contract.
You were
I was young.
over leveraged.
Yeah, and I was young because
So you didn't know.
Yeah, and I had an installation company. I was making a lot of money, but I just didn't have. I was making so much money. I didn't.
You
have
weren't saving.
Yeah, and I didn't have the kind of people around me to be like, look, this is business. I just went straight into it.
I feel like that usually happens with every businessman. Is that crash and burn a little bit just to really learn how to really manage your finance.
I'm really happy you said that. It's why I want to talk about shit that I talk about. Yes-ish.
Right.
The businessman and woman, the 80%, that's about the stuff. The 20% that are about the game never have that happen.
Right.
Because they're not buying dumb shit.
Right.
They're not over leveraging 3 properties because they know if, God forbid, it goes, I'm at 0.
Right.
They're not buying shit to flex. Look, the amount of people that want to be rich just to buy stuff to impress people that they don't even like.
Right.
It's crazy.
You want to talk about a model that's fucked up? The amount of people that want to be rich at all costs and fuck their lives up just to buy shit,
Right.
to flex on people that they don't even like.
Yeah.
They don't even know.
Don't even know. Yeah. Don't even know exists for
Yeah.
us.
But what's funny is people flex for someone they know. Let me say it. Yes, but it's always to show the girl that didn't give you that time.
Yeah.
Show your dad that didn't give you that love.
Yeah.
Show your mom that said you would never amount to nothing. Show somebody. Then there's people that are about the process. This is why I was so happy. I was built properly. I didn't do that shit.
Right.
This is why, like the Gary, like I don't even give a fuck about me. Do you know why I like the GaryVee thing? For my parents.
Right.
They built me. What the fuck did I do? I didn't have sex. They had sex. I popped out. Like, I didn't. You know, like for y'all, I
guess they did, man.
You know, for
right
y'all, I'm saying stuff, and maybe I can have an impact. But they did me. So like when they're like, "You're the greatest," I'm like, "You mean Sasha and Tamara Vaynerchuk?"
Yeah.
They made me. New Jersey made me.
Right.
Yeah.
Immigrant life made me.
It's definitely like so important to what you were saying, just like when you said your environment, and to your point when you said watch who you're around, because especially for a lot of black entrepreneurs or black businessmen, depending on environment, not every black person,
Of course.
but depending on environment, there's a lot of times when we make that breakthrough into wow, this is working. Wow, I'm actually bringing in some income. We don't necessarily have an environment that tells us, hey, you need to put this amount of money away.
Right. The infrastructure, the foundation that starts to.
Of course, black comma, anyone who doesn't come from an environment of money.
Facts.
In 20 years, you'll be hearing a lot of people saying it from Latin backgrounds.
Right.
I came up in the hoods of Texas and Arizona. Like it's whoever at the, like it's a money thing.
Yes.
Right.
And by the way, a lot, black, white, Hispanic, like gender, race, religion, sexual orientation, it's the people around you. This is the point of why I think this is a special era. Everyone's telling you that all this shit on this phone is garbage, and yet the only good stuff is found on the phone.
Yeah, you definitely got to filter it for yourself.
Turn on the TV and tell me what's so incredible.
Yeah.
That's helping the youth.
It's true.
Chat.
Not the news.
First time
Definitely
chat.
not the news,
Coach
man.
Lori, Cash the Nukes. Like, please, Twitter, because Twitch is live. Tell me this incredible TV show that's raising the kids right.
Right.
Because I can show you YouTube channels. I can show you Instagram. I can show you TikTok of people putting it down
that
proper.
you should be learning from, for
Tell
sure.
me the fucking TV show. Give me the newspaper, the radio program. Get the fuck out of here with this bullshit.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Like, I get that. The reason people are shitting on all this stuff is because it's where everyone's paying attention. Like, I'm, you know,
What is TV?
you know.
What is TV?
Someone said ESPN. I'll give you that. There's sports is good.
Of course. But
I'll
by
give
the
you
way,
that
I'll counter that. Sports now has these talking heads shitting on guys constantly.
Yeah. I'm about to say ESPN
Right?
will report injuries before they post anything.
And
You saw what Jason Kidd said the other day about the about media.
And ESPN has talking heads trying to get people to watch. And there's a lot of good dudes and ladies on ESPN. I know a lot of them. They don't even realize what's happening. They're in the they come in innocent. They're like, I need ratings. They don't even realize how it metabolizes. And you start trying to be positive and you're like, oh, my ratings aren't there. And you say one thing about somebody, and like, oh. And then we're getting seduced by rubbernecking. When you're driving, you're not paying attention when there's not an accident. But when there's an accident, you're looking.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's
And
very
so
true.
the media figured that out, and they're shoving all this garbage down our fucking throat.
It's toxic.
The accident thing just hit me. That's kind
Yeah,
of
that's
crazy.
true. That's
Slows down a little bit.
You got me with the accident one.
This is why I'm fighting
deep.
so hard.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
why I'm fighting so hard to like the good shit.
Yeah.
We got to figure out how to make the good shit, giving flowers when they're alive,
Indeed.
saying what I said to you,
Yeah.
like act. People. The reason to remember that is people don't do that shit. We got to figure out a way collectively, all 8 billion of us, and definitely the few of us that are so fortunate to just be good. We have. I always say negativity is loud as fuck and good at marketing, and positivity is silent.
No, seriously.
And the reason I'm so fucking loud is I'm like, well, I can only control me.
Yeah.
I can't tell all of you to do it if I don't do it.
Right.
I think what really helped me, there's a quote, everything speaks. And it's like from the clothes that you wear to how you carry yourself to the music you listen to, everything you consume, everything speaks. What are you saying? And when I heard that quote, I was like,
Right.
wow, like, okay,
What are you
like,
saying is
my
a great
words
question.
are this, some of my actions are this, but that's saying something completely different than what I stand for. It's like, so I had to evaluate myself.
Right.
And once I became extremely intentional and had intent behind every action that I made, and I started tracking my own actions,
Right.
I started seeing results. Like to your point with social media, it's like I actually started unfollowing accounts that were posting crazy stuff.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
When
So-
people are like, these feeds are all fucked up, I'm like, you take
follow
little
us,
watches.
brother.
I'm like, you follow me.
And your algorithm
It's all
is
like
telling you,
sunshine and roses and some jets.
And
negative
honestly, when
shit,
you
like
really
I said.
believe in like
Up your jet.
manifestation, you really don't have any time for negative energy anyway, because you
this-
don't want it to come back to
and
you.
people are like, oh, manifestation's bullshit. I'm like, manifestation is slang for being intentional.
Right, exactly. That's all it is.
I
did this on
I
purpose.
manifested. I'm like, no, you took those 7 meetings.
Right.
You did that work.
Yeah, you did.
Like,
Exactly.
like, it's not like you sat and prayed and,
pray-
some shit
yeah,
just
it's
dropped
true.
in your
Exactly.
lap.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
true.
It's
What do
all
you-
part of the
what-
process for
Real
sure.
quick, actually, let's open a pack of VeeFriends because this is
Okay, yeah.
podcast with
What's going on,
friends.
Cole?
Is this-
While we're opening this shit, tell me
shit.
what you're paying attention to. Tell me something that caught your eye in the world recently. What's something that's like really popping?
Really pop right now?
Like, yeah, something that you're, oh shit, you hit a monster.
What's that?
Oh.
Let's fucking go.
Gary, you're gonna have to tell
I
me
will.
more about this.
I will
What is
tell you
going
more
on
about
right
this in a
Because
minute.
I don't want to
Okay.
act like I'm like, oh, I just got the unicorn and I don't know what that
Yeah,
means.
exactly. This is
I got a
this is my
holographic such
this is
as
my
that.
Pokemon
website.
meets Sesame Street thing I'm building called VeeFriends. I'm building it for the rest of my life. It's a bunch of
I love
characters.
this.
You pulled the gritty ghost.
Yeah.
Hearing how you came up, this one really hits right for you. So you got to hold on to that. So, and it's out of only 100. This is a big card.
That's not fair.
That's real money.
It was going on. I'm about to open another pack.
Oh,
Real money.
what'd you?
No. Here's the
got
game.
cockatoo, bro.
The gritty
Fellas,
ghost,
fellas.
I got a
y'all.
cockatoo,
Fellas,
man.
Chat.
I want you to look at the characters, read the
fucking with my
names.
bars, though.
Tell me
Yeah.
which character most resonates with you.
Okay.
Which character, when you look at it, I'm going to go first, and I'm going to say the adaptable alien, because I think one of my greatest skills is being adaptable.
Ooh.
The reason I fuck with people so much is I'm not scared of people. Any people I'm around, different. I got very lucky. I grew up in Edison, New Jersey. I went to Martin Luther King Elementary School. We had a real melting pot.
You already know when it's MLK.
Yeah, exactly.
You already know the vibe.
So it was black, but I had it better than black, white, Indian, Asian. Brian Chen was my friend in 3rd grade. Robert Lee, then Natil Hallel. Like we had it all. Like
Wow.
I didn't know. I was a kid. When I got older, especially in the last 10 years, where you realize diversity matters, I'm like, damn. Not only did I have the great parents, I had the great environment. I learned how to love everyone. We were just all mixed, crazy. Like I don't like.
Yeah.
I actually have it on my Instagram. My 2nd grade picture. When I posted that, people are like, "Oh, you weren't kidding," because literally, there's 20 kids in a class, and it's like 4 of these, 4 of these, 4 of these, 4 of these, and 4 of these. And that's just a fucking gift.
Right.
You know? Anyway, so I'm going to go adaptable alien.
Okay.
Whether I'm talking to the biggest CEO in the world or I'm in a 3rd world country building a school for Pencils of Promise and
Adaptable,
everybody in
yeah.
between,
Yeah.
I'm just good with people. So adaptable alien. How for you?
I'm gonna go with Gritty Ghost.
I guess.
Yeah, you have
The most
to.
elite, yeah, what-
Yeah, you had to.
What does grit mean for you?
Hard work, man.
Yeah.
Hard work and just
Do
being
you think
happy.
the world's demonizing hard work a little bit right now? Like
100%.
don't burn out.
Oh no, 100%. But
Balance is right.
Yeah.
Real
Yeah.
talk. Balance is right. Don't
Yeah.
burn out. But
This is
do you
it.
think we maybe go a little far
Yeah.
where like a little bit of entitlement, a little bit of lack of balance, like people trying to win without putting in the effort?
This is it. I'm not saying this just for you.
Yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
in love with hard work.
Me too.
Like, I just
too.
love hard work. My
Me too.
parents worked there all the way, so yeah, I just love it.
Beautiful.
So,
Which
yeah.
one, my guy?
I'm gonna go right here with the graceful goldfish. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good name.
Why?
And just because everything I've ever done, everything I'm doing, everything that I'm gonna do, I try to approach with a real level of professionalism and just
Grace.
and grace, you know. And
This is why I love
just,
this shit.
Yeah.
Dudes that are cool saying the word grace
Yeah.
is literally the mission statement of my life.
Yeah.
And just watching this man right now
Very
say,
smooth and just
notice how
finesse,
even he's
yeah.
like, professional. No, grace.
Right.
I'm on
Seriously.
something like what our grandmas liked is now right.
Right.
Meaning like
Yeah.
grace.
Right.
Like respect. My big thing right now that I'm hot on is we're putting youth on a pedestal and we're underestimating wisdom and age.
Right.
50 years ago, the elders had all the respect, and the
Exactly.
kids had nothing.
Yeah.
Now we flipped it because of technology, social.
Yeah.
Everybody older wants to act young. You said about DJ. You even said it.
Exactly.
I think we need to get back to like really
Yeah.
respecting people 70 to 100 on the way they earned it.
Right.
Real talk.
Yeah.
I watch people at the airports. We are just losing our shit.
Yeah.
Like not getting up for like I watch these 3 dudes just sitting there. Nice. They weren't bad dudes.
Right.
But the fact that I watched it because I'm on it, so I'm looking.
Yeah.
This 85-year-old lady's walking by them, and you could tell. I was like I was standing doing a call before the airport. This is like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks
Right.
ago. And these dudes are just chilling, not bad. Not like out of a movie where they're like hugs. They're just normal dudes. But this 85-year-old lady is like clearly like tired. Like it's just clear. Like she's like looking. And I wasn't even mad at the dudes. Real talk. I was just mad at where we're at. 40 years ago, all three of those dudes would have been like,
Yeah.
we just don't teach.
Yeah, I even say my biggest inspiration, just as far as like media goes, my favorite show ever was A Different World, just because of obviously I went to an HBCU and that was all about that. But just the way they looked and the way they acted, the way they talked on it was just
different.
It was just so much more professional and graceful.
And Dog Grace says, why can't someone cool say grace? Everyone cool can say grace.
You can say whatever you want.
Please tell me the last time you've seen a 15 to 25-year-old cool person talk about grace is important. We don't talk about grace. Now we got a different slang for it, maybe respectful. Like there's some other places, but it's everybody can say anything they want. I'm saying what we're not. It's not 23-year-olds that are popping in social aren't making content around manners. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's facts.
Cool.
Grace, I love that you did that, bro.
Graceful goldfish, man. Shout out to the goldfish.
Shout out goldfish.
And goldfish are a great snack, so I'm gonna go with that. Too.
Yeah, I did that.
All right, so I noticed this guy had the highest score, so that gravitated me towards it.
Okay, so
but then I
what's
read it,
competitive?
and it says thoughtful three-horned harpic. So I am trying to be. I actually had have one amazing parent, but had two amazing parents that raised me, who taught me that purpose is above all. And so growing up, I relate to a lot of things you said because I, at a young age, was thinking through like, well, that doesn't really align with what I believe in or what I want for my life. So I'm not going to do that, right?
I'm out with
It
those
made
dudes,
saying
I'm out
no
with this.
so much easier for me. So once you know how to say no to things, the yes becomes more clear. So thoughtful, because I'm trying to be as thoughtful as possible right now. I just started trying to make content that I knew wouldn't perform well, that just means something to me. So I don't think I've made a video about grace, but I have started making like, not a podcast, but where I'm just speaking on a microphone, just talking about things I've learned.
By the way,
super
number
important.
one genre of content creation that no one's doing right now, in my mind, is you have a thought, you don't have a video person around you yet, you're not there yet, you don't really love doing the video like this. Cool, hit the memo, talk,
Voice recording,
save, post that shit.
Right.
Words, radio.
Right.
Shit works still.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's
That's true. I do see that a lot.
like if you got a thought that you believe in, pop it, record it. You could put some video on top of it later or just post it. I think someone's gonna own that and it's gonna make it easier for people. But I love that. Big shout out to the Harpic. Here's the big one. You ready for this? There's 283 VeeFriends. It's a big world.
Yeah.
There's only one made up character. Everything else is something you know. An alien, a wombat, an otter, a ghost, a worm, a duck.
Right.
The only character I drew and made up is the Harpic.
The harpic.
Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, come on, chat. Talk to me nice, chat. Let's go. I done picked the only.
You gotta show what I look like now.
Let's go.
What else is happening in the game that's caught your eye, that you're confused about, that you're thinking through, that you're being thoughtful about? Or give some roses. This is one I love a lot because this shit's so fun to look at 5 years later. How about somebody coming up that you see? That you see.
That's a good question. Let me,
So the first thing that popped to my head is just what I'm becoming more aware of more than anything is the shift in what works. So okay, what I mean by that is think about sneakers. And
Yep.
we were talking about this off camera.
Yeah.
By the way, somebody just said I'll buy that ghost for $155 right now.
Oh my
really?
God.
Nah, I'm gonna hold on to it.
Let me just tell you what just happened. Let me just tell you what just happened. That's when you know someone's from the streets. When someone doesn't know the value of something, gets thrown something real at them, but their instincts are like, nah, you know some shit I don't, so I'm gonna hold this shit.
and where'd you get that number from? 155? That's kind of precise. I know something we
I
don't.
tell you where I think they got it from.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen, but I always do this in every photo I take.
Okay.
Because my mom knitted me a jersey when we couldn't afford a Jets jersey when I was a kid and put the number 5 on it. So every photo I ever take as a head nod to my mom and as an homage to her and how she built me and why people even want to take photos with me is because of her. I throw up the 5 as a little token of her.
So you locked in over
And so
there.
everybody knows in VeeFriends land the 5
You
is a
locked
big
in.
thing. Like even some of these characters, I don't know if we got any, but some of the characters even have like a 5.
This is number
in them.
55 right here, actually.
Okay, there you go.
The graceful outfit.
So anyway, that's probably why. But anyway, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, so we were talking off camera and like the hype era of sneakers is dead. And I think when I'm looking at social media, I'm looking at content. The era of doing the wild thing to get attention, I can see it dwindling.
Shifting.
Right.
Yeah.
Shifting. Look, if they're good at it, Mr. Beast
Like
does
Mr.
crazy
Beast,
shit,
yes,
that's just going to
different.
work.
That's
Because
different.
that's a lot of talent
Yes.
behind
That's
that.
a lot of thought. That's a lot of planning.
thought.
That's a lot of effort.
Thumbnail,
Even production.
everything.
Yeah.
All of it.
That's different.
All of it.
I'm referring more to the content that lacks any sense of depth from any standpoint, whether creatively, where it's just going.
You know what it's called?
Something.
Supply and demand.
Right.
We got filled with that.
Yes. Yes.
And so now we're looking for something else.
Right.
Yeah.
You know something that I would like
Or
to
a
see.
person. I love giving flowers. Keep thinking.
Yeah, that's
Go
what I
ahead.
really wanted to. I'm going to
Okay,
get back
go
to that. But just personally right now, what I would like to see is that with all of these, I don't even want to say kids, but just this next generation coming up
Yeah.
so fast and doing all these things, I would like to see them even give, like, you know how we have like master classes from, you know, our OGs or whoever. I would like to see them start teaching the kids below them now about just
Gen
how,
Z teaching
Yeah, like
Gen
now we
Alpha.
have these
You know
19,
about-
20-year-old.
You know about Gen Alpha?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So Gen Alpha's coming.
Right, exactly.
I think they're still debating what the year is because that's what they do. But call them 13 and under.
Right.
Okay.
They're coming next, and
And they're going to be moving faster than we did.
Well, it's interesting.
under
The
us did.
early signs, because I'm spending a lot of time reading this. The early signs is they got judgment for Gen Z.
Right.
Gen Alpha's, it's so crazy how
Interesting.
fast this all moves.
Exactly.
Gen Alpha's coming out saying, yo, Gen Z, you talk big game, but you're full of shit.
Right. You got to give the codes, man. You got to give the codes.
That's crazy.
You
How
gotta give
crazy
the
is
codes.
that?
That is crazy.
9-year-olds looking at their 16-year-old crying about some shit, but not doing shit.
Right. You got to give the codes.
And
That's
so
why I would
that's
love to
good.
see them
That's
teach.
good.
Bro, it's this
that next
this-
generation.
good.
Yeah. Because we
That's
have these
gonna be a
19,
good-
20-year-old millionaires from, you know, building all this content, and they're literally like building their own websites, and, you know, they're these building their own enterprises and empires and everything. Just really just come down and just give the codes to the next generation. I think would be cool.
It's been
you know?
the story of my life.
Yeah.
I've never read my own book. Of course not. I wrote it. I know what's in it. Lately, Crush It, which I wrote in 2008, came out in 2009. Lately, I'm like, man, should I like read it just to like refresh ideas? Because the shit I talked about there of like this internet thing and like you should do YouTube and like I predict that people will make $100,000 a year on YouTube. And
Right.
like everybody read it back then and was like, you're a fucking idiot. You know, like, and all I was, when I look at all those books, when I think about what this comes out, I've never tried harder to give everybody all the cheat codes.
Right.
Because it feels
It's important.
good.
It feels
creates
great.
admiration. It creates real relationships. What else are you seeing?
Oh, cool.
What's going on in London?
Oh man! So I just want to shout out someone
Please.
that you
Please.
know actually. Dexter Mullercake.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. So he's doing some big things in London, man. I want to give him his flowers, man. He's
love it.
really grinding. So yeah, I just want to give him his flowers.
love
But
that.
in, in London, what's happening now? I mean, it's a melting pot. I would say I think people are searching for the next thing. If I'm honest, I
think that's what we're all saying.
Yeah, I think people are searching for the
Something's,
next thing.
you can feel it.
There's
We're
a
on-
void.
We're on
Yeah.
the curve.
Yeah.
You
It's
can feel it.
changing.
You can feel it.
Yep.
It's changing. I agree.
Yep.
And yeah, that's kind of go.
We were talking about
Yeah.
this, and I was talking to Tyler about this too. And he was speaking about you and how just always staying grounded to kind of feel what's coming.
Be in the
And-
dirt.
Yes.
There's
You
a
gotta-
there's a VeeFriend character. None of us pulled it. I don't see it here. It's got a long ass name. You can't beat a worm from the dirt.
Seriously.
That is the
crazy.
name of the character.
That's crazy.
So, and like, that's who I think I am. For all the hardcore VeeFriends trading cards fans, like, here's the alpha story that you've been looking for. Obviously, in VeeFriends, there's GaryVee, the B, and like, that's two on the nose. That's me. But that's not really me in VeeFriends. In VeeFriends, the character I made for me, who's me, is you can't beat a worm from the dirt. It's the same shit. What Tyler was probably telling you, and that's cool that he was telling you that, is like, no matter whatever happens with me, I'm always going to be in it. I'm always going to be, what did I say to y'all? What have you been up to? I've been operating.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
I'm not saying I'm a businessman. I'm a businessman, and then I'm going to tell you about it.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna get high on my own supply. I just told you, I don't even think it's me. It's very easy for me to stay humble. I don't think I did anything. I think my parents did something. One of the reasons I want to shine is get people to get some stuff, but also I know it makes my parents feel like I get that. Like, and so I'm in the dirt. I'm never gonna think I'm better than somebody because I'm not. I got skills. I got things. So does everybody. The dirt is where this is, in music, when the streets don't fuck with you, you left the dirt.
Right.
Yeah.
It's usually how it goes.
That's
bro.
100%.
9 times out of 10.
You left the dirt. Now that's not saying like what we, the other saying that we all know is like rappers get killed in their hometown. I'm not saying you shouldn't, if you're in a real bad neighborhood, like I'm not saying that, but I'm saying like, are you putting people on? Are you watching the kids come up?
Yeah.
Are you giving a cosign?
Right.
Are you giving somebody a feature on your track just because you actually fuck with them and you see yourself in them? The fuck am I doing right now?
That's true.
I want the three of you to siphon attention.
Thank you, man.
Real talk. I'm hoping
Appreciate
y'all
it.
say
Thank
something
you.
that makes 100 people, 1,000 people, 10,000 people over the next years be like, yo, I like the way he talked. What was his handle again? Actually, let's do that. How do people find you?
You can find me at Christian Crosby on all socials. I have the
Christian
same
spelled
at Christian Christian. Christian spelled normal, Crosby Crosby.
All right, yeah. Chase B. Find me on all socials at OG Chase B, man.
How's the B?
Something like
Not like Mummy B-E-E?
that. Oh, no, Chase B. B.
But yeah, that's what
And yeah,
Because every
Franklin,
time I say GaryVee, they're like B.
B,
Every time I say
yeah,
Vader,
right.
B and B's fucked up.
Yeah, right.
That's
You really
why
gotta
you gotta really say
enunciate
it.
that shit, word.
I would say V as in Victor. When I
Right.
call like credit card
Right.
companies, it's V-A-Y. I'm like V as in Victor, A-Y, and I gotta always do it.
cool. Yeah, Franklin, king of trainers everywhere. You might even see it in JD Sports. But
Before we
I'm
get
the
out of
king
here, because they
yeah.
haven't pulled me yet, which is good because I have a 2 o'clock. I'm enjoying this.
Yeah.
Tell me which social media platform you are struggling with. Like you wish you were making content for it, or you wish you were making better content for it because you want to be good at it. If you don't, if it doesn't exist, don't make it up.
it
But
exists.
go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube.
Where are you at with YouTube Shorts?
I just started.
YouTube Shorts is the gateway drug to build attention to then give you the leverage to do YouTube proper.
Right.
Okay.
Probably just TikTok. It's something that I enjoy it a lot, but I'm not utilizing it the way it could be. So, yeah, just TikTok.
Are you posting on it at all?
A little bit, but it's most of it is like actually like produced content, and people are kind of off that when it comes to
Yeah,
TikTok.
bro.
They wanna
So
just
let me
see
give
more
you one on
natural
this. Do you fuck with live at all? Have you ever done live with fans?
shit. I've done it before.
Let me tell you right now, this is for everybody. This is the alpha for everybody. TikTok live.
Yeah.
Live shopping is coming. It's huge in China. People just selling shit on live. TikTok wants to win it. Not a lot of people are going live on TikTok. They are fully creating discoverability for the people that are doing it. I don't give a fuck what you do on it. Eat cereal and just talk to them.
Right.
Like, get your ass on TikTok live.
Right.
Okay.
Push yourself. I know it's not. I know
It's not a natural thing,
I
but
know.
yeah.
I see it in you.
Yeah.
But bro, honestly, just like put it there and just like it could be anything. Like if you're gonna listen to music for an hour, then just go on TikTok live and just look over like I'm doing right now and be like, yo, mix 1, 2, 3, go. What's
Yeah.
good? Jenny Haas, thank you so much. You know what I mean?
No, to be honest, there isn't actually a platform. I'm actually the one of the people that started live
Yeah.
selling
Yep.
back in the day. But I want to kind of say there's another platform coming, eBay Live.
Oh,
eBay Live
huge.
is coming.
I agree.
It's going to
Amazon-
come.
By the way,
Okay.
Yeah.
just say anything you know. Just say live. It's all coming. eBay Live, Amazon Live. They're all building. They're all building.
Yeah, so
Live
everyone-
shopping in America and in Europe is on the precipice of complete explosion.
Indeed. Yeah.
Complete.
Indeed.
Me too with Wine Library TV back in 2006. But the way these platforms are built for live shopping, we
Yeah.
wish we had this.
This is it.
No friction.
Yeah.
Click, click, click.
Yeah.
You see that video of that woman in China that was just like passing the
She makes
Crazy.
400,000.
That's crazy.
Yeah, 400,000
And
hours.
she got swag too. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
Yeah, she got it like that.
She knows what she's doing.
got
I'm fucking with it. I'm fucking with it for sure.
Fellas, thank you so much for being on.
That's dope, man.
thank
Appreciate
you
you
guys
guys.
for having
Thank
Appreciate
you, Twitch, for watching Podcast with Friends. We will see you next time.